Okay, we are doing lesson 3.2. It can be found on pages 112 and 113. Go ahead and draw a triangle like this, including the lines that go over or beyond the vertex. Okay, let's go ahead and mark and color code. Yesterday, we talked about interior and exterior angles when we're working with parallel lines in a transversal. Today, we're working with triangles, but I think the idea is still the same. These red angles right here, what would we call those? Interior or exterior? Interior. Probably interior, since they are inside the triangles. These are interior angles. They are inside the triangle. Now, let's use what we learned a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about adjacent angles, vertical angles, complementary and supplementary angles. What can we say about these angles? They are exterior, but we don't consider these exterior angles because they are vertical. These are vertical angles. They are vertical to the interior angles. So that means they're congruent, right? These vertical angles are congruent with the interior angles. So I may just put a box around these. And I may mark these as congruent. So these are vertical to the interior angles, which means they are congruent. So you're right, they are on the exterior, but we don't really consider them exterior angles because they're congruent to the interior angles. Does that make sense? Okay. So that leaves these angles. So what would we call these angles now? The exterior angles, yes. So these blue angles are considered the exterior angles. They're on the outside of the triangle. Okay. Now the interior angles of a triangle, X, Y, Z. I'm going to tell you that the sum of the interior angles is equal to 180 degrees. So angle X plus angle Y plus angle Z equals 180 degrees. And we're going to prove this in just a moment. Okay. We have a circle. How many degrees are in a circle? So a circle has 360 degrees, right? If we cut that circle in half, so we cut that circle in half, we used a straight line to cut that circle in half, right? So what is half of a circle? How many degrees is half of a circle? 180 degrees. So a straight line, the straight line that we use to cut the circle in half is equal to 180 degrees, right? And I'm telling you that the interior angles of a triangle, X, Y, and Z, angle X plus angle Y plus angle Z equal 180 degrees. So that means this plus this plus this should equal a straight line, right? Because 180 degrees is 180 degrees. It's a straight line. And I'm telling you that all three of these added together are 180 degrees, a straight line. So we're going to go ahead and prove that. Everybody is going to need a piece of blue. Okay, with this blue piece of paper, you need to cut a triangle. And it doesn't matter what kind of triangle you cut, just any kind of triangle. So go ahead and cut your triangle. Okay, everybody should have a triangle cut. Now, I want you to mark and color the interior angles. So mark and color the interior angles. Okay, we said the sum of the interior angles is 180 degrees. We've marked our interior angles, and all three of these should be 180 degrees, which is a straight line, right? So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear my triangle so that I have my three interior angles. You shouldn't have any trash. There shouldn't be any leftover pieces. We're just tearing it. We're tearing the three interior triangles apart. Yep. Now, we said all three angles should be 180 degrees, which is a straight line. Let's watch what happens. There's one, and it doesn't matter what order I put them down. Look at that. Mine right here, this should be colored in. There. All three interior angles, when put together, form a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so I think we've seen that it doesn't matter what kind of triangle we use, that when we take the interior angles and add them together, it will always be 180 degrees, which is a straight line. So let's go ahead and put this to practice. We have a triangle. This is 32 degrees. This is 46 degrees, and we want to know what this is. Can we figure out the value of X?
Yes.
Absolutely. Angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. So we combine our like terms. This is 78 plus x equals 180. Now this is a basic algebra problem that we've been doing. Subtract 78. What I do from one side, I must do to the other. So x equals 102 degrees. So this is 102 degrees. Now, this isn't new. You guys should have done this last year, but life doesn't stay this simple. We like to make it a little more challenging. So let's go ahead and do that. We now have this triangle. So now we've got this kind of a triangle. Yay! I see X's. What are we doing here? Okay. When we see this box, what does that mean? It means 90 degrees. It's a right angle. It's 90 degrees. So can we figure out what these other two are? Yeah. Absolutely. Angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. So let's combine our like terms. We have two x's. And now this is a basic algebra problem. So I'm going to subtract 118. What I do on one side, I must do to the other. I've got 2x equals 62. If I'm going to divide by 2, what I do to one side, I must do to the other. X is equal to 31. But I'm not done. All I've done is found the value of x. I now have to go back and substitute that in. So x is equal to 31. But here we've got 31 plus 28, which equals 59 degrees. So here's our angles, 90 degrees, 31 degrees, and 59 degrees. Okay, now we're going to combine the ideas that the interior angles of a triangle are 180 degrees, but a straight line is also 180 degrees. We're going to combine these ideas. Okay. So let's draw a triangle, and we're going to extend one of the legs. So we have angle A, B, C, and D. So we already know that the interior angles of a triangle, angle A plus angle B plus angle C, equal 180 degrees. We also know that two angles that form a straight line, angle C plus angle D, supplementary angles, equal 180 degrees. So angle C plus angle D equals 180 degrees. So if this equals 180 degrees and this equals 180 degrees, can we say that angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals angle C plus angle D? Because this is 180 and this is 180. So do they equal each other? Yeah. But if we take a look, angle C here is a shared angle, isn't it? So can we cancel those? So if I subtract angle C here and I subtract angle C here, do we end up with zeros? Yeah. So now we can say angle A plus angle B equals angle D. And that kind of makes sense. If these three angles are 180 degrees and this is 180 degrees, and I'm removing angle C, angle A and B are equal to D. Because if we tear these pieces off, if we tear them off and we put them in here, this is angle A plus angle B. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So if I tear these off like we did, angle A and B will fit in here. So A and B are equal to D. So we're going to use that. We're going to use that. So we have this triangle. This is 36 degrees. This is 72 degrees, and we need to figure out angle X. There are two ways we can go about solving this. We can use the idea that the interior angles equal 180. So angle 1 plus angle 2 plus whatever this is equals 180. Okay. So combine our like terms. We have 108 plus our unknown angle. This is algebra. Subtract 108. Subtract 108. So this unknown angle is 72 degrees. So this is 72 degrees. Now we can use the idea of supplementary angles that form a straight line. 72 degrees plus X equals 180. Okay. Basic algebra, I'm going to subtract 72. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. X equals 108. So 36, 72, 72, my interior angles equals 180 degrees. That's how we figured out our missing angle. Then we used supplementary angles to figure out the value of X. But there is another way of doing that. didn't we say this angle is the sum, is the same or the sum of these two angles? These two angles is equal to D, right? So these two angles is equal to D. So 36 plus 72 equals X. And what do I have? Oh, look at that. So X is 108. It is equal to those two angles. So there's two ways of solving it. If you don't remember that this angle is equal to the sum of these two, that's okay. You still have the tools that you need to figure it out. We know that the sum of the triangle is 180 and the sum of a straight line is 180. So we can figure it out. Let's do another one. So this is A minus 5, 80 degrees, and this is 2A. We need to know the value of A. All they're asking us is what's the value of A? Well, I know that this angle plus this angle equal this angle. Because if I tear these corners off and I put them here, these corners fit in here, right? So A minus 5 plus 80 equals 2A. So we need to combine our like terms. We're going to subtract A from this side. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I have negative 5 plus 80 equals 1A. Negative 5 plus 80 is 75, and 1A is represented by A. Boom. A is equal to 75. But that hasn't given us our angles here. A is equal to 75, but this is 2 times 75. So this angle here is 150 degrees. This is A minus 5. So this is 75 minus 5. This is 70 degrees. Well, that kind of makes sense. 80 plus 70 is 150. Now, if I want to, can I figure out this missing angle? Yeah. If I want to, I can figure out this angle. 150 plus this angle, whatever it is, we don't know, equals 180. So basic algebra, I'm going to subtract 150 from this side so I can isolate this variable. So this angle is equal to 30 degrees. Boom. So we're really using the idea of 180 here. Supplementary angles, and the idea that the sum of the interior angles is 180. Okay. Any questions? What questions do we have? Are we ready to get started? Okie doke.